Welcome to the podcast.
Hi, everybody.
Hey, just a follow-up note to anybody that cares. I think it was 2 days ago on our show, we were talking about Sputnik, that Russian movie about that happened in the 80s that was supposed to be like a monster comes to Earth, something, science fiction movie.
Didn't happen in the 80s, but it's a current new movie that a lot of people are talking about.
Right. I found that on iTunes yesterday.
You did?
So sometime in the last 2 days, it has been added to iTunes because last night every once in a while I'll just pop over to the iTunes movie store on my Apple TV just to see like what they're highlighting or whatever. And I had searched for it just a couple days ago and it wasn't there. And it was there last night and I didn't watch it.
Yeah. Well, okay, but at least it's there.
It was there.
Is it expensive or not too bad?
It was I think renting it was $4 or $5.
That feels like a rental.
That's normal. The purchase, I think it was like 15 or 20.
Not bad.
And it's not in 4K, so I'm not buying it.
Oh, okay.
And I haven't seen it. Here's what they need to do. They need to, this is like a whole other thing.
They need to let you rent it and then take the price off if you're going to purchase it.
Right
I know. They should totally do that.
If they would do that, where it's like, hey, you can rent this for $4, and then when it's over, if you want to chuck an extra $11 on top of that, you can buy it. There have been movies that I would have, especially if I really liked it, while I was still high on the movie, I might have bought it.
You would have spent the rest of the money. Instead, they get nothing except for the rental. Right. They could have gotten the full amount.
And I haven't come back to pay for it. And I can think of a few movies like that. So, hey, in the show today, we get cupcakes.
We do. Cupcakes and RadioU cookies, which are... They're so artistic. Like, they took these text stickers that we have for RadioU and they made some RIOT ones. So if you check out RadioU Official on Instagram, I posted them there. If you follow us on our RadioU Facebook page, if you pop over there, take a look and see, because, I mean, they're works of art. And it was so sweet to have them sent in.
Really nice.
Yeah, so thank you to Jason again, who made those possible. And you should be following us on Facebook anyways.
Let's see. Other things you'll hear in the podcast. Mac and cheese. LA County.
KFC mac and cheese.
Why didn't I just call it some mac and cheese?
It's not just mac and cheese. Okay, it's KFC's mac and cheese.
We talk about the Applebees worker. Which
you did it too.
It's tough, right?
It's wrong for you to say that, but you're doing it.
I'm doing it too. That's right. We talk about Warrior Nun, Blackberry, almond milk. Listen how healthy it is. Blackberry and almond milk.
Oat milk is what we talk about.
Oh, you're right.
It's
I
oat
even
milk.
wrote it as almond milk. All right, I got to change that.
Almond milk no more.
Here, everybody sit around while I process this.
Change it up.
Oat milk. Got it. And some random doctor we don't know, and so why should we trust them, say we shouldn't go to the movies this weekend?
We have a really in-depth conversation about that. So.
Oh, yeah. Super, it's... you know what?
It's medical.
Come to think of it. Nikki, we should turn that into one of our 60-second bits. You explaining in The Simpsons.
Don't ruin it for the podcast, people. You'll get to it. And then let me know if you like my diagnosis.
You'll like it. You're obviously going to get the wisdom you need to move ahead with your life.
I'm not sure about that.
So, all right. Well, you guys enjoy the podcast.
Thanks so much for listening to the podcast today. Have a wonderful day.
All right. Bye.
The Riot. They're kind of a big deal.
Hey, can we do that again? Maybe a little more energy?
No. RadioU.
It's a heck of a way to start a morning.
Yeah.
But there's not going to be any college football this year.
But that doesn't mean.
That doesn't mean I can't have a Buckeye cupcake. Now, for those of you that don't know, a Buckeye is a poisonous nut. But a candy Buckeye
is delicious.
It's a roll of peanut butter that's been mostly dipped in chocolate.
Little wax.
Well, that's what helps the chocolate hold up.
It does. It makes the mold there.
Yeah, and so you get a chocolate cupcake with peanut butter icing on top, and then they put one of those candy Buckeyes on top of that.
It was good.
I shouldn't have eaten that so early in the morning. I hope I don't live to regret it later. I hope I live, I just don't regret it.
Just keep going with it. You start it, if you eat that sort of cupcake at 5 in the morning, you just have to keep the level up with more treats.
Keep eating cupcakes, keep eating cupcakes, keep eating cupcakes.
Which we'll tell you in a moment why we have cupcakes so early in the morning.
Oh, morning cupcakes. And, you know what, you just want to jump in?
Yeah, we can if you want.
You know what, Jason He had actually sent us. He sent us these pens and he sent us cupcakes.
The cupcakes and cookies. It's not just cupcakes and cookies. I'm going to post a pic of them in a moment.
You got to see the picture of them.
They're amazing. If you are a Radio U listener that's like supported, you've probably been sent what we call a text sticker pack from us. It's got Radio U stickers on it. He took those and had a local bakery near us make cookies out of them. And they're absolutely stunning to look at. So thank you, Jason, for being so amazing. And so you're spoiling us.
Yeah.
Because they're so good.
The bakery is the Fat Girl Bakery.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, well, I can tell you what. I don't know if she is fat, but the reason is...
because these are so amazing.
Enough Buckeye cupcakes, and, what are you going to do?
Well, we really appreciate it. I guess she was super nice, too.
It's impressive.
It's art, isn't it? It's absolutely art.
I mean, is this hand done? Do you print that on there? I don't know. I'm impressed.
So I'll post a picture if you want to join us in a couple of minutes on our social media. If you go to Radio U Riot on Facebook, we'll also post it on our Radio U stuff. So if you go to Radio U on Facebook and Radio U Official on Instagram, you can see what these cookies look like. Again, they're not just normal cookies.
No.
There's something special.
It's one of those things where it's like part of me doesn't want to eat it, but I will.
Just give it time.
Don't worry, I will. But part of me doesn't want to.
So there were Buckeye cupcakes. We can't tell what the other one is. It looks like maybe a strawberry or something.
We've looked at it a lot.
What's worse than the worst of the riot? The worst of the riot podcast. Yeah, you did this to yourself. Podcast. Riot. Radio U.
Big news. Everybody ready?
Yeah, what is it?
September 15th, Nikki.
Yeah.
It's not just 6 days before my birthday, which up until now was the only thing that gave it significance.
That's normally how we remember things coming up through the entire month of September. You just put it around Obi's birthday date.
That's right. But the other thing September 15th it is the opening of the Krispy Kreme flagship store in Times Square.
In Times Square?
Yeah.
They're going to have one?
Well, apparently this has been a long rumored, long constructed, long discussed, et cetera, et cetera. But according to my sources, that store is going to open, and it is going to feature what they call the glazed waterfall.
Oh, my gosh.
Excuse me, what?
You mean we get to finally travel to a waterfall?
That's right. I love nature.
I do, too.
I love it.
Does that count as camping?
Totally.
Because I think it does.
Because we're going to camp out in front of the Krispy Kreme for it to open.
We could.
And then we're going to take our morning shower in the waterfall.
That actually is nice because Times Square has been hit pretty hard. A lot of flagship stuff are leaving to go outside of the Times Square area.
Because it's expensive.
It's expensive, and they're just not having tourism right now to be able to, pay for the rent.
Well, according to this, Krispy Kreme, good times are here again. The glazed waterfall is happening, and the hot light is going to be on.
Have they showed any pictures of what it looks like? Because for us, we have just like the normal standalone store where they have the conveyor belt sort of.
And there's a glazed drizzle.
Yeah.
There's a glaze.
You can go in and see, I bet, but I've never seen a waterfall version.
Yeah, big waterfall.
I think I'm probably envisioning it being bigger than what it probably is, but still neat.
There's some truth to that.
Probably.
There's a very good chance that what you want it to be and what it actually is probably not going to be quite the same.
We dream big, so.
And that's not wrong.
There's nothing wrong with that.
It just leads to some disappointment.
Every so often. So that'll be the flagship store for Krispy Kreme. They're doing one in Times Square. And when did they say? September
15th.
September 15th.
Wait, let me double check that. Make sure it's not the 16th. Okay, waiting. 15th.
15th it is.
Yep.
A Rotten Tomatoes score so high, they refuse to make it public. The Riot on Radio U.
So I've been looking at the story of a guy by the name of Philip who had fallen in love with someone named Sonia. Mm-hmm. And it gets way creepier from here. Sonia Deville is a WWE wrestler, and he was stalking her.
Oh, that's scary.
Well, the initial thing that I looked at was his initial tweets didn't seem weird or whatever. Those are the ones I saw. But he ended up getting arrested. He was arrested at her house. He had broken in. Apparently, she lives, or at least was staying with, another WWE wrestler.
Yeah.
I think they might be on the Divas show or something like that. And he broke in and like he had sent messages like, hey, I'm going to kill her. He wants to kidnap her, like all this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
All this creepy stuff. Now, that's all terrible. He's been arrested and I'm sure they're pursuing that, et cetera, et cetera. But the one thing about this news story that I think is hilarious is that every single time I see a headline about this, they don't use this guy's name. They refer to him as an Applebees worker.
Oh, yeah, I've seen that one.
Okay.
So that's the guy?
Yes.
Okay,
so
because didn't he follow her or something? Like he was staring at her outside of her house forever.
Yes,
yeah, okay,
yes.
that's the Applebee's worker.
Okay, well,
I don't know if they can maybe name him yet, or it didn't seem like he was under 18, but like, why wouldn't they name him?
Well, here's the thing, though. Why?
Was it Applebee's?
You work at Applebee's. You're trying to, protect the brand.
Yeah.
Whatever. And they just keep referring to this guy that has done these terrible things, not by his name, not by the guy wearing the black T-shirt. I mean, like, there are all these things that you could come up with to identify this guy, and all they do is identify him as an Applebee's worker.
I'm trying to look to see if maybe she had gone into an Applebee's or something, or is this purely because she's a wrestler?
I am sure that there's a connection that I probably don't know about.
No, they that sort of thing. They keep saying he's an Applebee's crew member. He had waited inside her house to try to kidnap her for 4 hours.
I just imagine the person, like the social media director at Applebee's, is just like, stop it! Stop! I can't!
I don't see any connection, just at least from these couple of stories. He had been following the Total Divas posts, and then he had an obsession with her, and then that led to this horrible treatment of her.
I don't know.
But you're right. Every single place, stalker, Applebee's worker. Everything's Applebee's.
I know. It's all coming up Applebee's.
But there's no reason why. It did not seem like there was a connection with actual Applebee's.
Yeah. I don't know the answer or why. I just keep seeing that and thinking, poor Applebee's. Something I've never said in my life.
But they would really like you to not include that information. It has nothing to do with it.
We didn't do it. Please stop using our name.
We've got an archive of everything stupid the Riot has ever said at your fingertips. This is the worst of the Riot podcast.
Well, I'll tell you, I'm not getting invited to any house parties these days. I mean, I did a birthday party like 2 weeks ago.
A small, separated event.
Yeah, I mean, like, I saw
not a house party.
I saw a video of that Wuhan pool party. Didn't get invited to that. And here we've got aerial photos of some pretty happening parties happening in L.A. right now. And you mad, bro? The governor's not happy, Nikki.
You know what he did?
What did you do?
Well, for one of the guys, I think he's like TikTok famous. He had a big party that they had to break up. They shut off his water and stuff, like his utilities, to his house.
Gosh, at least 75 people and 20 strippers. So does that mean 95 people or 55 people and 20 strippers?
That's a good question. I don't know.
Feels like a math problem.
And they're people. Everybody's people.
Exactly.
I mean,
that's what I thought.
They just wanted to make a point of that.
You know what you just did? You just made a case for the dehumanization of people in pornography. You just made your case. By separating them out, you said they're less than people.
That's what that statement is.
Mm-hmm. So, that was Bryce Hall. But
they cut off his utilities afterwards.
They say that is something that they're basically looking at doing, that if you're throwing parties during the Rona, they're going to cut your power.
You can't live without that. You need water. You can't live without electricity. You won't last long.
I'd be out there with my hotspot but I still have internet.
We're still fine. You can't get rid of me.
I'm still here.
And technically, you could probably find a way to plug in next door, but I don't know about the water situation.
I got a generator. And a little can of gas.
I don't know what you can do.
I don't know either, but that's the latest. Los Angeles. It's actually not the state. It's the city is saying, hey, look, you guys keep doing this. We're just gonna cut your power.
That's what they're gonna do. Cut out your utilities.
Man, that's like when we had a brief problem during my freshman year of people constantly pulling the fire alarm in the dorm. So we got this message that was basically like, hey, if this happens again, we're turning the hot water off.
And again, you don't realize how much of a threat that is until you've gone a while without hot water.
Well, it was just one of those things where I was like, great. Like, first off, if you think that a bunch of 18-year-olds aren't going to escalate back at you, forget it. Like, you've picked the wrong group of people.
They can still live there.
And two, I want hot water. I didn't pull a fire alarm, okay? Like,
You're getting punished,
Do we have to do corporate punishment? Do we have to do that?
Yeah, apparently that's what everybody resorts to. Did they say how long they lose their utilities for?
I don't know. Yeah, so maybe they did and I missed it, but I don't think so.
You get punishment for like 30 days or you have to, it's like your quarantine of electric stuff, so you get 14 days.
Well, if you're a TikTok millionaire, you just go to another house. Get yourself a nice hotel room.
You're basically listening to a real-time cringe compilation. This is The Riot on RadioU.
Nikki, TikTok is your people.
What do you mean?
They're your people because...
okay.
Here's why I say that. You love TikTok?
I do.
When I'm Redditing, you're TikToking?
Yeah.
We're sharing?
Yeah.
Sending each other stuff back and forth?
I do always find that when someone sends me something on Reddit, it's like I always say, oh, I just saw that already on TikTok.
Well, yeah, but that doesn't mean...
I think it's a faster thing.
Not necessarily. Maybe it just took that person longer to find it on Reddit.
That could be.
Because I wasn't on, let's say, TikTok earlier in the day, whereas you're always on TikTok.
You're right.
Nikki's at her desk looking at TikTok. Nikki's in the meeting looking at TikTok. Nikki's in the studio looking at TikTok.
At least I'm consistent.
There's something to be said for that. Nikki, I say these are your people because I'm looking at a TikToker named Alan Farrell.
Yeah.
And one of his viewers challenged him to go to KFC and order a bucket of mac and cheese. And by bucket, I mean the KFC bucket that normally comes at 16 pieces of fried chicken.
Oh, you can have it filled?
Well, it's not officially on the menu.
Sure.
But the people at KFC were like, sure, why not?
So I didn't realize this is a part of a trend. And this trend has been around for a bit. I think it started with boba, where you would go to have a ginormous jug filled with stuff.
Yeah.
So people would go like into Starbucks and you'd have a giant Frappuccino made.
Okay.
Or just any coffee place. I think Dunkin' would sometimes do it. So it's basically trying to get them to make this supersized item.
Mm-hmm. Well, KFC did it. And I say these are your people because it was a bucket of mac and cheese.
That sounds so good, does it? I think I don't mind KFC's chicken or KFC's mac and cheese.
I have no idea. Like, I couldn't tell you.
It looks good.
I don't like really big mac and cheese noodles. Mm-hmm. I feel like they get too chewy, but it's just me.
This isn't a bucket. I just think it's probably fine.
It is a bucket. He says he ate the entire bucket.
No. When? Like how many hours did it take?
His words, not mine, but he says he ate the whole bucket.
So one of his fans did challenge him to order the entire bucket of cheesy mac and cheese, and a location would do it for him. You have to go in and ask.
Yeah, so $20 he paid for that.
So he's known for submitting ridiculous orders through drive-thrus. So that's his thing on TikTok.
And I love the fact, you know what, sometimes when people come in and do stuff like that, it's super annoying.
Yeah.
But I love when they're just like, all right, sure, I'll do that.
Sure, why not? You want to know how much it costs for the bucket of mac and cheese?
$20.
$20, $21 after taxes.
They shouldn't be charging them tax for that. That's food.
They just said.
I guess it depends on what state you're in.
It's not an official menu item, but there is a system in place, they said, to charge someone if you want to get one.
There's a system in place.
So they could do it.
We're prepared for your order.
I was telling Obi off air, I came into the break room at lunch yesterday, and Hudson was in there eating KFC. And man, happy as can be, because he said that locally, he thinks it's local, but on Wednesday they have like a $4 something dark meat box with all this stuff in it. And we were just talking for a while, like how much we really like chicken.
Hudson.
So it's a little look into Hudson's likes. He really likes KFC.
Dude, if you want to know how and where to get the hookup, Hudson's your guy. Like, he knows stuff like that. Like, he could tell you what day you could get a cheap corn dog at Sonic.
Yeah.
He knows the days, the dates, and the times.
Well, I think he had mentioned he's been trying to eat a little healthier, but then he always tries to find really good deals,
eating
too.
KFC.
Well, he recognized, like, it doesn't matter. So, like, Wednesday seems to be the fun day, and for the fun day, you go spend $4 on, like, this thing.
Well, you know what?
Should we get Hudson to get a big thing of mac and cheese?
And just watch him eat it?
Just see if he could.
I don't
He
want
probably would.
He absolutely would.
He'd eat it all during his air shift.
He's a new TikTok star. That could be his thing. Is like,
he likes TikTok.
Can I eat this bucket over the course of my show?
Maybe we'll send this to Hudson, and maybe if he goes on a Wednesday again,
he should do it.
We'll make it a sale item.
Bridget said that she saw a guy on TikTok do that at Wendy's. He ordered the T-Rex. That's $18 for 10 patties.
Oh, hamburger patties?
That's not so bad. Meaning that, would they do it? Did they have a secret menu? Hey, can I get the T-Rex?
I think they just charge you per hamburger patty. That one I think they'll do. Most hamburger places will.
The worst podcast with the best listeners. This is the Worst of the Riot podcast.
So, Nikki, what are your plans with Fandom this weekend?
With what? With Fandom?
Fandom.
Fandom? What's
Yeah.
Fandom?
Oh,
No.
come on.
I'll look it up.
Come on.
Is it a convention?
DC Fandom?
No. Listen, we can all learn. Okay,
What?
don't panic, everybody. Don't panic.
DC Fandom is the big DC Comics event that's happening this weekend online.
Honestly, had no idea. I've not seen any press on this or any promotion towards me.
It was supposed to be 2 days, and what they've done is they've actually broken it in half. So this Saturday, August 27th, DC Fandom Hall of Heroes is going to be taking place.
So there'll be panels on the 22nd and 23rd.
I think it's just the 22nd.
Let's see, in two parts. The first runs for 24 hours. Starting at 10 a.m. on Saturday. The second half follows. Why are they saying it on September 12th?
Because they've broken it in half.
Okay.
So it originally was going to be a 2-day event, meaning like 1 weekend, 2 days. But they've split it up, and so the second half is going to be September 12th. So this weekend, though, they say that we're going to hear from Dwayne Johnson, who's playing Black Adam, which is, I guess that's like the Shazam villain.
Oh, okay.
Like the whatever. So I think he's going to be in the Shazam sequel, which, complete side note, I really liked Shazam.
Did you?
I did. That was great. I
feel
really
like
enjoyed
all
that.
the certain things they wait so long on. So Shazam, I think, did pretty good for
It
them,
did.
but they lost all the steam on it.
Well, Nikki, I don't know if you've ever heard of COVID-19.
Well, even before then, it just takes a while.
Nikki, you blame everything on COVID-19.
Oh, so they're okay. I
That's
see
how
what
that
you're saying.
works.
Okay,
Like, in case
it's not
you-
just the studio.
Yeah, no, you just anything that comes up that's inconvenient.
I see.
You just blame it on that. Also, they're saying that you'll get an extra new special look at The Batman, which is going to be their new Batman movie. Not to be mistaken for Batman. It's the Batman.
Gotcha.
And apparently you're going to get some details on the new Shazam movie. So all of that kind of stuff you'll get to watch. Think about this. It's 24 hours of Zoom calls.
Great. Well, maybe they'll put it together in an interesting way. They don't say if this one is this weekend or if it's in the September one, but they'll cover Wonder Woman, 1984. So they got a lot of stuff.
We should have already seen that movie.
Yeah, you're right. We had the Doritos before the summer.
That's
Remember,
right.
they had some sort of promotion.
We did. They also say that we will probably get a look at whatever Rocksteady's new game will be. Those are the guys that made the Batman Arkham games. And so they say, the big whatever is it's probably going to be a Suicide Squad game, which that's disappointing, but it's cool. Why couldn't we get that Superman
No,
game?
it's okay. It's all right. Don't be disappointed more.
Look, they're anti-heroes. The anti-heroes are really cool.
All right, so that's the DC thing.
Yeah, DC Fandom this weekend. You know what? Here's where I'm at. I'm not participating. Like, I'm not going to be watching Fandom. I need you guys to watch it and send me the links to the trailers I need to see.
So in case there's anything that he misses, otherwise we'll just catch up on next week when they cover everything.
Exactly.
Just find it all in.
Somebody give me the article that tells me what I missed at Fandom, and I'll be just fine.
Perfect.
That's exactly what I'm looking for.
That's how he'll do it. But yeah, they just said watch the hashtag. That'll be the best thing to do.
Yeah, and it's free. Like, you don't have to register for it or anything. You just watch this weekend.
So I didn't hear if you mentioned, but the center of the experience will be called the Hall of Heroes, which is an 8-hour block of its programming that it'll be covering, and that'll rerun 3 times during the 24-hour timeline. So that way, if you're in different parts of the world, you can tune in for the Fandom event.
No.
He rolls his eyes at that.
I roll my eyes because that's what you say when you only want to create 8 hours of content, but call it 24 hours. You say, this way, everyone in every time zone can participate. No, this is just you rerunning it. It's the internet. I could start it on demand at any time.
That's it. Yeah, they will just rerun it 2 other times.
Shh. But don't say that.
Don't notice it.
Sorry.
Giving every novelty food the publicity it so blatantly desires. It's The Riot on Radio U.
Let's be honest. The best part of Cinnamon Toast Crunch is whatever the heck it is they're sprinkling on those little cardboard wafers.
It's cinnamon and sugar.
But it's not. It's more than that.
Do you think, or is it just cinnamon and sugar?
I'm telling you that I can mix up cinnamon and sugar at home. Not that I've tried. And
to recreate it.
It is not the same. I don't know what they have in that stuff.
It's something.
But it's different than just straight up cinnamon and sugar. And I can tell you that...
Oh, it has vanilla, caramel, and graham cracker notes within it, too.
There we go.
So I bet you're right. There is something else when it comes to Cinnamon Toast Crunch, the seasoning.
There's something
there. It is,
there.
which is why if you just do cinnamon and sugar, it's good, but not exactly the same.
It's not as good. Well, Nikki, I love this. The Cinnamon Toast Crunch peeps are releasing Cinnadust. What? Cinnadust. Cinnadust. Cinnadust.
So it's basically, like when you buy seasoning in a container?
Yeah.
You can buy the official Cinnamon Toast Crunch Cinnadust and then sprinkle it on anything that you want.
That's right.
Oh, it'll be a big bottle, too, because they say it's going to be found at Sam's Club. So that is starting next month. It'll sell for $5.48, and it'll be a 13-ounce container.
By big bottle, you mean finally a decent-sized bottle?
Yeah, like when you go to Costco or Sam's Club, you're not buying the general market store size.
Yeah, I want something big. I want the big one.
That looks good. I wonder if it'll go anywhere after that. Like does Sam's Club have it for a little bit and then it releases everywhere else?
I don't know. Okay. What would you put it on?
If I look at the pictures.
Yeah, they're showing it being put on toast.
They're making it like with cookie ice cream sandwiches, and then you roll like the chip wheel. You roll the ice cream into the Cinnamon Toast Crunch stuff. Mm-hmm. You can put it into milkshakes. You can make your own toast, and that's all they're showing us.
Okay. All right. Do you think you would do this?
It'd be fun to buy it, but not all the time. That's not an everyday dust. So... we can't live like that.
That's fair. It's not an everyday dust.
Suddenly you're like, I'm making steak tonight. Sprinkle the Cinnadust on it. I'm making chicken. You put it on everything.
Yeah.
Maybe.
You know what? I like the idea of like maybe it on toast. The only thing I'm thinking is it might be too powerful.
What do you mean?
Well, like that is a potent thing.
Listen, let's pick thick toast, okay? Put some butter on it so it's melting.
A really good thick.
Then you sprinkle it on, or if you've ever had cinnamon sugar sprinkled on a tortilla with butter, that's amazing too.
I'll tell you what.
Anything, basically.
My friend's grandpa was in the Navy, and he was a cook, and he would just make homemade bread all the time.
All the time?
And so when I would go over there and visit, he would have his homemade bread, and he would make toast out of the homemade bread. I pretty much was just like, I'm only here for the toast.
Mm-hmm. And now you could be here for that, too.
I could have that toast with this on it.
So again, it's in September, and it's only at Sam's Club, it seems like, for right now, but
Sam's Club.
who knows if that goes
Come
anywhere
on.
else after that.
I'm not joining Sam's Club. I'm a Costco guy.
Why are they making us fight like that? We'll have to find a friend who has a Sam's Club thing.
Marvel Comics, PlayStation, and I got an Apple phone. Like, brands, people. We got to stick to brands. I can't go to Sam's Club.
So Cinnamon Toast Crunch has announced their Cinnadust, which will be their seasoning in a bottle.
Man, lightning in a bottle, right? Come on.
The Riot has now been downloaded. I hope you installed some antivirus. This is the worst of the Riot podcast.
So, Nikki, last night I watched, oh gosh, what was it called? The video game thing on Netflix. Netflix video game show.
Oh, the documentary?
Yeah.
It's already out.
High Score.
Oh.
Yesterday was its launch day, and I got through almost 2 episodes. I got towards the end of the second one, and I was like, dude, go to bed.
Was there 6 of them, if I remember correctly?
I believe there are 6 of them, yeah. So the one I watched last night started basically with, it doesn't start with like the very first video game. It picked up basically around Atari kind of stuff. It opens with the guy who invented Space Invaders.
So it shows you basically the history of video games so far?
Yes. The thing that's interesting about it, though, is that I can't decide if they have decided to tell interesting side stories or if they just couldn't get interviews with some of the bigger names.
You weren't supposed to notice, probably.
Well,
Could very well be.
For example, they got the guy that invented Space Invaders.
Yeah.
Awesome. They got the guy that invented Pac-Man.
Awesome.
They didn't. The only Nintendo people they talked to are people that used to work there.
Well, I bet they couldn't get anybody current then.
Right.
Yeah.
And so they talked to some of the people they got were neat, though. They talked to the kid that won the Nintendo World Championships in like 1990. They talked to the guy that wrote the music and sound effects for like Mario and Donkey Kong. And they talked to, what was the other person? A guy that was a game counselor for Nintendo. So you used to call this number and ask questions about video games.
Oh, and they'd help you?
They would help you.
Whoa. So if you're into like...
So pre-internet.
Yeah, so if you're into game history, it just seemed neat. I think it was a listener who sent us a link to the trailer.
The documentary, even if you're not really a video game person, I feel like it is produced well enough and they contextualize things really well that you could sit down and know very little and still enjoy it. And it's funny, like I'm not trying to take away from it. It sounds like I am, but they get a lot of quote unquote side stories that are really interesting. Like a lot of these people I've never heard their story before. And so it was really neat to hear the story of like the Space Invaders guy. I mean, he's old. He's like 80 now. But, back in the day,
he made.
That was his thing. And he talked about how he likened playing video games to magic tricks. And so he likes like sleight of hand magic tricks. And he's doing some of them for camera. And he's explaining how it's like a game. And it's really interesting stuff. So I don't know. Don't know where it goes. Maybe it doesn't go anywhere good from here. I don't know.
So what is it called again?
It's called High Score.
High Score. There's 6 episodes, which means since you're 2 in, are you going to pick it back up or is that it?
Oh, no, I'm very interested.
You're going to watch the rest?
Yeah, I'm very interested.
Sometimes when you take your first break from a docuseries, it doesn't mean you get back to it right away.
Nikki's telling you the truth, but I was sleepy.
You were entertained?
I had to go to bed last night so I could be here today.
No, you keep going. You just finish it.
You're right.
Where do you go when you need someone to listen to your problems and give you a big hug? Not here. Obviously. This is The Riot on Radio U.
Okay, Nikki. I'm about to just tell you a little inside.
A little something personal?
I've been thinking about trying Noom.
Oh, the app?
Yeah, the app. It's not really, Nikki, it's not a diet app. It's a
sound
life.
Like
it's
the
a lifestyle app.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, it's there to help you, change some habits. It's not there to put you on a diet.
Everybody knows what they're doing habit-wise. That's bad.
Yeah, well, but they're going to help you. This time it's going to be different. This is the time.
This is the time when everything changes.
Yeah.
All right. So are you seriously or are you just teasing?
No, I really did. I really was thinking about it because I'm just like, bro, because let me tell you what happened. I gained weight and then I gained COVID weight. Now, the COVID...
You mean you had your winter weight and then COVID?
I've had like 2 winters worth of weights and then COVID weight. And I will tell you, some of it's the medication I take. It really does help you not to care so much about things.
Like food?
Yeah.
And you just eat whatever?
You're just like, you know what? I don't care. I just don't care. And so that, I'm getting a little weight from that. And then there was the COVID weight that was like, I don't care and we're all going to die anyway.
So why not?
Let's hit that drive-through one more time.
Yeah, all right. I follow along.
So I've taken, the COVID weight is gone. Like, that's taken care of. But that's...
Your winter weight of several seasons is still what you want to work on.
Like, well, man, like, I should lose the weight. And then I see this. The Better Business Bureau has issued a warning about Noom.
Oh, really?
They have given that company a D rating because they say they have received thousands of complaints from customers who claim it is scamming people with its free trials. Now, here's what they say.
So I've only seen ads for it, but I didn't actually catch what it was.
So Noom used to be, I think it used to be like a one-time pay app, and all it did was basically like a food journal and an exercise journal.
Oh, like a tracker?
Yeah, because I had a friend of mine who used it. They've gone from that to a service that you pay for, and I know almost nothing about the service. I just know the guy in the internet ad says that he gave up fitting into those shirts a long time ago, and now they fit. Wow.
Well, they don't tell you, though, that he just bought new shirts that were a bigger size.
We don't know. So apparently you pay for a service, and I don't know how much it is or how it works. No idea. But the big complaints from people are, I canceled and they charged me anyway.
Oh, that happens.
After I canceled and they charged me, they will not refund my money. They will not let me cancel.
Sure.
They charged me for a whole year instead of the monthly plan I was on. Now, I will say that some of the complaints I'm hearing sound like people who actually didn't pay attention and just clicked whatever.
Yeah.
One of the things I notice a lot is there are a lot of things I'll look at and they'll be like $5 a month. And if you don't look, they will bill you for a year. Marvel Unlimited is like that. It's like there's a monthly and a yearly, but if you don't look closely,
you never knew about the year part.
You'll end up paying for an entire year in advance. So you have to be careful.
You have to be diligent
with that. You really do.
Let's say as diligent as we would be with tracking our food. Oh, wait.
What?
What?
Huh?
That's why I'll just do the subscription if I do a subscription through my Apple store, because then it removes it.
I do appreciate a lot of times
a layer of protection.
I don't want a third party involved, but Apple's pretty good about that.
That way, if you have an issue, you can then go to them.
But that's the story on Noom.
Now, Aaron just texted, said, I canceled Noom and had no problems.
Well, you know what? There we go. There's one person out there. So now we just need to know, hey, Aaron, how come you canceled it? Because it wasn't working, apparently.
Okay, Julia said, hey, I canceled in March. So I think everybody canceled it. Everybody tried it and canceled.
Julia says, I did it in March. I don't buy into the think it, be it, positive thinking vibe. But the food and exercise tracker are great. There are free apps. They're just as good.
Oh, yeah. You can totally find another one that doesn't charge you.
Yeah. And like the nice thing about those ones that don't charge you is they just steal all your personal info. Well, so, I mean, and you know what? You were going to have that personal info anyway.
You were giving that away. No problem.
Right.
So are you going to not go and try it now since it got a D rating and a warning?
Yeah, probably.
Okay. Probably yes or probably no?
Probably not.
Probably not. Just get another tracker.
It's not going to matter.
Yeah, Will. When you see what you're eating in a day, then that brings the shame at the end of the day.
Is that how it works?
Yeah, and then you wake up the next day, forget about the shame that you fell asleep to, do it all over again.
Okay. Well, in the meantime, the break room is full of cookies and cupcakes.
Guys, I don't know how we're supposed to be on diets when you guys keep sending us cookies here.
Nikki,
it makes it very hard.
We're not supposed to.
What? Eat the cookies?
No, we're not supposed to be trying to lose weight.
Proper planning prevents poor performance. Clearly, the riot didn't properly plan. This is the worst of the riot on Radio U.
Nikki, do you think that Nightbird is a warrior nun? Tell me that doesn't sound like a perfect code name for a warrior nun.
That could be.
I'm Nightbird. I'm one of the warrior nun sisters. Right? some historical interviews of us chatting with Nightbird, I do discuss with her the fact that she has a freaking superhero name.
She does.
She just does.
And she's amazing. And again, it's been a while since we've talked with her. So tomorrow, Nightbird will be joining us.
Yeah. So, Nikki, Warrior Nun got a second season from Netflix.
So what is that? I mean, we've said the name, but I don't recall it.
It's
the movie, TV show?
It's a TV show from Netflix where...
Documentary or real? Or
Oh, it's not.
It's not real? Okay, I didn't think so. Based on the name, I did not think so.
I don't know what the... Like, seriously, it's a story about an ancient order of nuns in the Catholic Church.
Maybe, I don't know.
An angel left a halo, which chooses a bearer every generation to power against the forces of darkness. And it
seems not real, but
I am not Catholic. I keep meaning to call a couple of my friends who are and just be like, so, like, do you guys get mad about this stuff? Or since you're constantly having your theology dragged through the dirt, like,
or is there a legend?
Do you even care?
Is it a legend in that we just don't know about? No, it's not. Okay.
No, this was a modern comic book guy.
A modern retelling.
So they just have decided that it's going to get its second season.
Don't you like that stuff? Except when, like, the show that you happen to like never sees the light of day again.
Well, I watched 3 episodes of it.
Did you?
Well, I liked the idea of, like, you know, light versus darkness and this. I thought it sounded cool, but I just got really bored of it because she was... I don't want to be a warrior nun. I want to party with my friends.
Okay, you just ruined the whole thing then. Is that how that's the take on it?
I'm telling you, 3 or 4 episodes, and she's like, I just want to hang out at this beach party with these people and enjoy my life. I don't want to be the halo bearer.
Well, don't we all feel the burden?
Don't tell me what to do. And I was like...
It's like, we're done, aren't we? Can't watch it anymore.
I mean, she didn't say those words.
But that's how her emotions were coming across.
And I was like, you know what?
We all have to do things we don't want to do. That's life.
I just couldn't. I was like,
couldn't handle it.
Yeah, I mean, just stop there. Wait, you know what? I don't hate everything, guys. I like things. There are things I like.
You never bring up the things you like, though.
No, because when I tell you the things I like, you'd be like, that's dumb.
Wait a minute. You did tell us about the Flash Gordon 4K, that disc that you received and watched. So,
and just to be clear,
you do tell us sometimes.
I'm going to tell you right now. If let's say we rented 2 stadiums.
Yeah.
Okay. And we filled one stadium with the people that were excited about a second season of Warrior Nun.
On Netflix.
That stadium is sold out and the parking lot is full. There's a wait. There's a wait
to get in. Okay. And then on the other stadium.
And at the other stadium was all the fans of the 4K Flash Gordon Blu-ray that were all gathered together in one place. Mm-hmm. We would be like, hey, is there... Hello?
Is anyone coming to the stadium?
Is anyone else here?
You would be there.
Hello?
You'd be like the MC of the whole event.
Yeah. It would just be like me. There'd be a couple of people, but
who got to the wrong stadium.
We would have to gather together for warmth.
The Riot is well-versed on many different topics.
They're shy at first, but they're quite skilled at conversation.
This is The Riot on RadioU.
Nikki.
Obi.
Nikki.
Yes.
The Blackberry's coming back.
The Blackberry? Woo. The phone from forever ago?
Yep.
Well, okay. Well, the Razor came back, so why not the Blackberry? I didn't think that Blackberry was still around.
2021 Blackberry 5G.
Ooh.
It's going to be real.
It's real expensive, I bet.
It's going to be huge.
So wait, the company's coming back, or did it ever go away?
Well, they licensed the TCL, something. The licensing is over. And a Texas startup phone company has bought the license, or at least licensed the license, and they are going to bring back the Blackberry next year.
Great.
It's time, Nikki.
No, I would never go back.
Yes, you are.
I can't. I just have iPhones. That's fine.
You know what, though? Think about this. Do you remember when you were a loyal Blackberry customer and you would have never imagined that you could leave?
Well, that was when I was way younger, and I didn't know any better. Unless my burner phone was a Blackberry. It was just my alternate phone.
Now you're in a position where you think you could never leave iPhone, et cetera, but you leave iPhone, you go back to Blackberry, and this moment we're living in right now, you refer to that as, I was so young, I just didn't know any better.
Man, the lack of support I feel like you'd be getting from this startup company on this phone with service and stuff that's not been around for quite some time, I'd be quite worried.
So, but think about this, Nikki. What if, all right, you ready? Physical keyboard.
No, thanks.
Right?
No.
Right?
No, thanks. That
Physical
did not.
keyboard.
No, not interested.
Bringing it back.
Is that words they're actually using?
No. But the one they made last year
had a physical keyboard.
Maybe it was 2 years ago. Yeah, it had a physical keyboard. Oh, yeah.
No, thank you.
Ran on Android.
Pass.
Physical keyboard.
Pass.
All the goodies. It had a camera.
No. Wow.
Shut
Oh,
up.
my gosh, the technology. Please stop. I'm so jealous.
I'll just tell you right now, I will always in our friendship remember you getting a touchscreen Blackberry and being like, yeah!
Dude, I loved it because my dad gave it to me for Christmas. I remember. I got it Christmas Day. So just imagine little Nikki opening this thing up. I was so excited. And then I think the thing was that the service wasn't switched over because it was Christmas Day.
Yeah.
So I remember being so sad because I couldn't use it at all. It was like there was no changing it until I think the following day.
And the iPhone was on AT&T, and Nikki was like, man, this is going to be better than that stupid iPhone. This is going to be sweet.
So I remember just being excited because I'd really wanted one, and my dad was like, here, and I couldn't use it at all that day.
Oh, it's the best. It's like getting a toy for Christmas, and they forgot the batteries.
Yeah, you have nothing to do to
all
power
the stores
with.
are closed. And you're like, I like touching it, though.
It's great.
You're listening to the worst of the riot. Radio U.
I did not know this, but tomorrow, a lot of movie theaters open in the United States, and being released in the United States is the sequel to Train to Busan.
Oh, yeah, Peninsula?
Yeah, that's the Korean zombie movie that was, you know, the one where he jammed the book in the zombie's mouth, that one.
You know, that lovely movie.
You've seen that picture on the internet, right?
It's been out in Korea for a while, but
Yes.
it'll be now here.
So Peninsula releasing here, it's not reviewing super well. People are saying that it just got a bigger budget, so it went from...
It pulled a John Wick, which is a term you might not be familiar with when we say it that way. It just means Hollywood got involved and took more of an independent style movie and ruin it, kind of, which could be somewhat what we say about John Wick too. So that's fine.
And even 3.
It's coming back though with the other ones. They just make it. I don't know. They just take away some of the. They just do something. I don't know how to say it. They just kind of make it too much. Too stylized.
I think saying that they remove the heart.
Yeah.
Not in a zombie way.
No, but just in a independent filmmaker way.
Yeah.
And they take that away from what made the first movie so special.
So it's a limited release, but if you can find an open theater tomorrow, you might find that. In the meantime, Nikki, I'm looking at an article here from a doctor that tells us that we should not
go back,
be going to the movies this weekend.
So what do they say? Like, what's the reasoning? If you're distancing from it and they clean in between, what's the reason?
Okay. This is from, let me find the guy's name. Actually, you know what? There are several doctors in this article that are just saying like, hey, you really shouldn't go to the movie theater. They're saying it can't be clean enough, that jamming yourself in a room with complete strangers and like they're basically saying like, look, you're going to get it.
I don't feel there's much difference between that and like, say, a restaurant if you go inside.
So here we go. Dr. Ann, you may be right, but I'll just tell you what they say. Dr. Ann Rimione, professor of epidemiology.
And movie hater.
Well-known hater of film. She says, and I quote, short of renting out an entire theater, which is obviously not an option for most of us, there is no scenario in which going to a movie theater is a good idea. Her partner, Dr. Abdul El Sayed, says it's just about the last thing I would do right now.
All right.
There you go. And they go on to state that there's so many surfaces that get touched, and you have
guys, they don't go to movies. They were so dirty to begin with, it canceled out all diseases.
Yeah, but there was no COVID.
No, I think it was like the perfect storm of stuff there to where
it all canceled each other out?
Yes, that's exactly it. Don't you remember what was the Simpsons had this old thing where Mr. Burns was so old, how could he possibly be living? But he had all this other stuff that was wrong with him, but it was like the perfect storm that just stopped everything.
And that's your take on this situation as a scientist?
Yes, it is.
Ask Dr. Nikki.
No, don't do that. Don't do that.
Dr. Nikki said it was okay. In fact, she said this whole COVID thing was just a big joke brought on by the government.
I didn't say, oh my gosh, you did not just say that I said that.
She said
at all what I said.
We should all go see the Korean zombie movie, and everything's going to be fine.
And she quoted The Simpsons as her source.
Yes, Doctor, we want to go and check your research. Could you tell us?
Yeah, I don't remember the episode or the season.
Season 4 of The Simpsons. It's a Burns-centric episode, which I normally don't like, but I'll tell you that, like, unveiling the mystery of his longevity was totally worth it.
Never mind. All right, I was just trying to have a conversation about how is it really that bad compared to everything else?
Well, no, if Mr. Burns can live, we can all do it.
I just know that my movie theater I went to was always super dirty. So it can only be better if they're cleaning it.
I don't want to think about germs.
Remember the time I went and saw the movie and there were flies flying in front of the projector and you could see them throughout the entire movie?
They wanted to see it too.
I know, but that was gross if you take a minute and step back from that. Why are the flies there?
Can we get rid of those?
Yeah, they couldn't stop the movie for that.
The Riot. Just because it's bad doesn't mean it's not good. Wait, isn't that exactly what it means? It's The Riot on Radio U.
You know, it's hard to get good oat milk in this town.
Where are you supposed to get it at? Come on.
Where can a fella get some oat milk?
Have you had oat milk before?
No.
It's delicious.
Is it?
It is so creamy and smooth, but the problem is normally, I don't like normal milk. I'll usually have almond milk.
Yeah.
And if you get the unsweetened type, the calories can be pretty low. When you get to oat milk, though, it's decadent in the alternative milk world, like cashew milk. Cashew milk is amazing.
But it's loaded with calories?
It's got a lot of calories in it.
Okay.
So
more than regular milk? It's cow's milk, really.
More than the almond milk I would get. And so I had bought a whole case at Costco before I realized and looked at it was a little bit higher of the calorie content. So I never did anything with it, but it's delicious.
You know, Nikki, sometimes you just need that.
I guess.
You need the extra oat calories.
You need the oat power.
That's right. It powers you. Mm-hmm. And the people at Dunkin' know that. And they say America runs on Dunkin'. So you need some Dunkin' Oats. And they have become, I love this, they have beat out Starbucks to launch oat milk nationwide.
But Starbucks and Dunkin' have been testing it around the same time. It's just Starbucks has not done anything nationwide with it. Dunkin' is now doing that.
Dunkin' has teamed with Planet Oat. They are an oat milk brand.
What is it? A conglomerate?
They're part of a food conglomerate, HP Hood LLC.
So they're going to do the nationwide launch with them. So it's out. You can actually now do it now. Instead of almond milk, normal one, or cream or creamer for your coffee, they have oat milk ones.
So you could have an oat milk flavored coffee.
Not flavored.
Like creamed.
Yeah.
What is that? You put it in your coffee.
Alternative?
Sure.
It'll be in the drink. I believe there's an upcharge. They're saying that
I'm sure there is.
May be applied to it. So that's it. It's launched.
I wonder how efficient, not to be this guy, but I wonder, I've seen them make fun of, we use ethanol to power a car. Mm-hmm. So, only in the United States would you use food to power a machine. I wonder, oat milk. like getting oat milk versus eating oats. Like, I wonder how efficient that is as like a use of the food.
I don't know.
You know what I mean? Like,
you're adding everything else into it, though.
Does it take 1,000 oats to create them? I have no idea.
To equal one oat milk?
I don't know.
So they started testing, Dunkin' did, in January of this year. Starbucks tested the same time. So depending which area of the Midwest you are, they have about 1,300 Starbucks stores in the Midwest that have oat milk, but it's not nationwide, and they do have that in Canada.
Right. So not everybody in the U.S., but in places in Canada you can. So,
But Dunkin' now has it everywhere.
I'm good. You know what?
Don't want to try it?
There's a solution to all of your, like, I can't find a good milk alternative for my coffee. You know what you do? Drink it black.
Oh, no. You got to add something to it.
Black.
You need to.
Coffee.
But you want to be on trend, so you want to make sure you're picking the right one.
Right.
So this is more on trend now.
What are you drinking, almond milk?
You're not supposed to anymore. We've moved on to oats.
You're disgusting. Oat milk, please.
Not really. He's teasing.
This was the worst of the riot, and we'd like to congratulate you on having the stomach to stick around to the very end. The riot exists because Radio U exists, and Radio U only exists because of your support. Find out more and give now at RadioU.com/donate.
What's your problem? What do you want?